Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. I want to do something a little special because a lot of our members will run some of our Facebook ads that we recommend, and they'll get a lot of leads. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to those phone calls, those are tough for a lot of us, especially if we're not used to being on the phone all the time with our clients, or if you normally email your clients back rather than call them. We want to try to dive into the success that Erica was able to have, and not just from working with us, but she's been doing this for several years now and has had success on her own. And then when she worked with us, I was really able to see the true power of her closing ability. And so I wanted to invite her on and just ask her some questions and sort of understand the process that she goes through when she talks to people on the phone, because I know it's something that's very scary to a lot of us. So Erica, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah. I want to jump in really quick and get started. We did a giveaway, right? Very specifically. And that giveaway basically told people that they could win a dollar amount towards their overall boudoir experience with you. And after they applied, then there was phone calls that you scheduled with them to just learn a little bit more about them, whatever it may be, right? And on those calls, you were able to close, I think it was 14 sales before you announced the winner, right?
Yeah.
So just talk to me a little bit about the process leading up to the call. First of all, where were they going, and how are they signing up for a call?
Okay, so we did have the Call Now offer where they could automatically schedule their kind of Call Now. They get $100 towards their session if they booked during their Call Now offer. But it wasn't even those that we actually booked. It was the ones that you wouldn't call it cold calls, because they were expecting if they were a finalist for the giveaway, then we gave them a call. So we had an endless amount of phone calls. We actually ran out of time for a whole entire, we called for 8 days straight. Ran out of time calling people. We just tried to call as many as we could. So we had kind of two different categories. We did ask budget in our long form for the giveaway. So if they had a decent budget, then we put them in our yes pile to call automatically, because we knew hopefully there'd be a better chance of getting them to book if they had a larger budget, and they would be more towards our ideal client. Mm-hmm. And then we also had people that we actually wanted to win our giveaway. So yeah, we called, I don't even know, over 100 people. And I think somewhere on there, or we still had 100 left to call. I don't even remember that. Everything's just kind of a blur. But yeah, we booked 14 of them.
So what was the process? When they got to the landing page, they filled out a form. Mm-hmm. And then at what point did they schedule a call? Or on that form, were they telling you what the best time to call was, and then you just went through, sorted, and then called all those people?
Yeah, so they got to choose. We didn't call anybody in the evenings, actually. I've been trying really hard to stay within our business hours. So we called everybody during the day, so they got to choose if they wanted morning or afternoon. We just sorted them out that way as well. I actually have a team of 8 Dream Team members, so brand ambassadors, and they also came in and helped do phone calls, and I prepped them. I ran them through a quick phone script. I wrote out exactly word for word exactly what I would say during the phone consult, and they pretty much just read off the script with a touch of their personality thrown in.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Very cool. And so on these calls, what was the structure of the call? Just kind of give us the things that you the structure of how you would take it from the first hello through to the end there.
Okay, so first thing I guess I'd like to say is I know a bunch of you, especially the people that are watching right now, are probably watching because you hate doing phone calls. A lot of people hate doing phone calls, but I do things a little bit different than a lot of people do. Most people tell you to get your client talking for the majority of the phone call. I don't do that. If you hate doing phone calls, there's a pretty good chance that the person you're talking to also hates doing phone calls. So for me, I do the majority of the talking, and I've, done so many of them. I can literally I mean, I don't, but I could probably watch a TV show and blurb it out and like my spiel, because it's just so honed in because I've been doing them for years. So you kind of tweak until you get to a place that you know works for you. But the last thing I want is for my potential client's first reaction or first feeling they get when talking to me is being uncomfortable. So do I get them to talk? Yes, of course I get them to talk a little bit at the beginning where we're connecting. But besides that, I do the majority of the talking, and then I'm asking them if they have questions because I don't want them, if you don't like talking and then they don't like talking and you're like, okay, go. They're going to be like, oh, no. So it's a little bit different. So I definitely, so I shoot strictly boudoir. So I'm like, okay, so tell me when you want to do a boudoir session. And then they tell me, I want to feel beautiful, or I want to find myself again. I ask them the 3 words they want to feel or see in themselves when they see their photos or doing their session. So they tell me that way. So then I can help them kind of, I can kind of change my tone depending on how they want to feel about themselves, whether it's beautiful or whether it's, a sexy vixen or however it might be. Then I can change my tone of voice a little bit compared to one or the other. And then after that, I figure it might be kind of easy for me to run through a little bit about exactly what I would say to them. You're diving into this is like my good sales psychology stuff. I sell them on experience before I sell them on purchasing the experience with me. So I'm like, okay, let me tell you a little bit about why we do things the way we do things and what it's like to work with EFP Studios. So I meet with every one of our ladies 4 times. A lot of people, if they don't know, the norm is shoot and burn photographers. Now, I don't know how many are watching that are shoot and burn, and that's fine if you've figured out something that works for you. But for me, I will have never been as successful as when I've been an IPS photographer. But some people don't even know why you would do it that way and why they need that. So I always tell them I meet with all my ladies 4 times. This lovely phone chat we're having right now would essentially be our first meeting. Then obviously we have your session, and then we have your reveal. And then the last time we meet is when we schedule a time for you to pick up your products. So right there, I'm prepping them right off the hop to meet with me 4 times, and that they have to pick up their products and I'm not delivering them. I go over what their session looks like. Everybody's sessions are different, like the time amount, how many wardrobe options they get. I talk about nudes. I throw in some jokes to kind of break the ice a little bit, like nudes are scary. It's not the vagina monologues. It's like, and then so you kind of get them laughing and connecting with you. And then I go over the reveal. I focus my experience talk on the reveal, not on the shooting. I tell them that it's my favorite part just because this is where the magic happens. You leave your session feeling amazing, but then you get nervous all over again. So the magic happens, and I love being there with my ladies when they see their photos. And this is everything that I'm actually saying on the phone to them. It's completely self-fulfilling for me. So again, I'm just opening up and being really raw and honest with them. Like, I love being there. I love seeing the reactions, and I tell them all the different reactions that they see. Like, some people laugh and like catcall themselves. Some people are completely silent and just taking it all in, and some people are crying, and then I'm crying, and then everybody's ugly crying. Like, so it all depends on who they are. And you're kind of telling them as well that it doesn't matter their personality type or how they react, that you're there to be there with them. I can't fathom just shooting their session, giving them a gallery and saying peace out and never seeing them again.
Right.
I'm like a built-in cheerleader. It's really overwhelming seeing so many photos of just yourself. That's, again, my honed in speech because I'm shooting boudoir and it's typically just them unless it's a couple session. But so I'm there with you to talk through your feelings, and I'm there with you to cheer you on, everything like that. So then right then and there, they're like, oh my gosh, this sounds incredible. The last time I had a session done, I just got 10 photos and
right.
It was whatever they picked. And I'm like, so on average, I show you like 80 photos and you get to choose the ones you love. So the ones that I choose might be different than the ones you choose. So my biggest thing with sales and phone consults are that you have to make them feel like you're doing them a favor, that you're on their side. You're not selling them. It sounds weird, but you're not selling them on you. You have to like sell them on themselves to work with you. I know that doesn't really make sense, but
I love that you said that, because you said in the beginning that you asked for them to give you 3 words that they want to feel or whatever when they see those images, and I think that helps to sort of position them. And I don't know if you do this or not, but do you take those words and bring them back to them towards the end of the conversation?
Oh yeah, definitely. So when I'm talking about their experience, or I'm going through the session or whatever, I'm like, some people, it's really weird for them if they chose the word sexy. So sometimes it's really overwhelming for somebody to see themselves in this super sexy way that they never knew they could. And so you definitely reiterate those words back to them and make sure that they know that they're going to feel that way or can feel that way. So it's really good to have those words that they want, instead of I could sit there and go blue in the face talking about how beautiful she wants to see herself, but she might want to see herself. Maybe she knows she's beautiful and she wants to see herself as super sexy. Mm-hmm. Right? So it's really good to have that way to know exactly how they want to feel so that you can input that into the rest of the conversation with them.
Love that. And then as you go through towards as you're wrapping it up, at what point, specifically when you're doing the giveaway calls, at what point are you able, how do you transition into, okay, let's do this and give me money?
So during my regular consults, for when people are just contacting me to book, I go through my pricing in depth with them. I don't go packages start at $1,500 and then leave it at that. I actually go through every single product and every single package because I have a full arsenal of sales psychology points that I sell them during their phone consult, just so when they do book, they're already prepped at their reveal. I'm going to upsell the shit out of them. Mm-hmm. I hope I can say that.
Yeah, you can.
But during the giveaways, because when we first contacted them, we're like, hi, this is Erica with EFP Studios. Do you have a minute to chat? And then they're like, yeah, sure. And then you're like, you're one of our finalists for the giveaway. And then they're like, oh my God. So they're already feeling amazing. So then we go through the big spiel about why they need to work with us without saying you need to work with us. And then the way that I did it was I was like, obviously we'd love to give every single person who applied a free session, but then I'd be working till I was 90 for free, and I don't want to do that. So it's, again, I'm like really, really open and honest with my clients, and I just I'm kind of a goofball, so I just try and get them laughing. They're like, yeah, for sure. And I'm like, we only have 3 giveaway winners. So unfortunately, we can't give a session to every single person. But as a thank you and as just a finalist only gift, then we have a special finalist only gift as 50% off your session fee or whatever it might be. So at that point, you've already sold them on working with you full price. And then when you give them a discount, they're like, oh, now I extra want to work with you. Mm-hmm. So don't start with this sale. Don't start with trying to book them, because then they're immediately thought they're going to get their hair up and they're going to be like, oh, she's just calling me to book me. Mm-hmm. I don't like feeling like that. When it's like, oh, hi, you want to be a product tester for my products? You only have to pay so much money. And you're like, go F yourself.
Right.
So, you have to talk to them and tell them why it's so amazing. So sell them on the experience before you sell them on the booking.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I love that. So then once these people decide to book with you on the phone on these calls, what did you do from there? How did you take the money? How did you get them to pick their date and stuff?
Okay, so we had a big list of dates written out because there was multiple of us booking people. Mm-hmm. Yes, my brand ambassadors who were doing phone calls, they were also actually booking people. So that was good. It's not just a me thing. And some of these people had never done phone calls before and they were still booking people. Mm-hmm. So I have a studio manager who's doing phone calls. But so when anybody would say they're like, yep, I'm ready, let's do this. Side note, I'm going to go off track for a second. I always made it aware that if they booked the Book Now offer, it had no bearing whether or not they booked if they could win the giveaway. Because some people, I didn't want them to worry that they had to book in order to win, because that's not what it was.
Right.
We wanted them to book because they wanted to book. So I just made it known that this is for ladies who know that they want and need this experience, whether or not they win this giveaway.
Gotcha.
So even by saying that, you're telling them they don't have to book. But by saying that, you're telling them that women out there know they want this no matter what. And people want to be like other people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a psychology point, is that, it's only for people who want and need this. And so they're thinking, oh, other women need this too, so I need this.
Got it.
I lost my train of thought. Oh, so we'd ask them if they wanted to book. They would say yes. And then we would pick a date. So I would just give them my list of dates, ask them, do you have a certain day you'd want your products back by? Because then we'd have to backtrack from that day with however much time you need in order to get their products back, and tell them when we were booking. So our next available date right now is like January 16th or something like that. I booked up the rest of my year with this giveaway, which was awesome. And it happened. How long ago did it happen now? You said like
a month
and a half?
Yeah, a month and a half maybe.
Okay. Yeah, so we booked out the rest of the year, and we're still busy with phone consults and inquiries coming in and booking into January and February now. So
crazy.
So we would pick a date together, and then Macy, my studio manager, I'd be like, okay, so Macy will send you the full info guide. It has all of the info about everything we went over about the session, the experience, the process, what to expect. It has full pricing and payment plan options right in there. So if you have any questions about the collections, let me know. For the giveaway calls, I didn't go through the full pricing just because I did tell them if they were interested in booking, I told them collections start at, just because we were trying to get through as many as we could.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they wanted another call to go through pricing, then I would do that.
Right.
So we gave them the full information guide that has the full pricing laid out. So it's essentially a pricing guide, and payment plan info. I told them that there was payment plans so that they didn't have to be as worried. And then we sent them their contract with the date in it already. And then they could either, so EMT is kind of like Venmo.
Okay.
I think. In Canada.
Yeah.
Or they could go credit card. And if they gave us credit card number, we ran it right then and there. If they gave us EMT, we had already sent them the contract and the info guide. So it would be coming in within the next day or so.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then when you're doing just your regular consults, if somebody was to just contact you, or let's take it from here. Let's go from someone emails you, hey, would love more info. Do you email them right away, or do you call them, or do you email them and call them? What's that process look like?
I will definitely email them back. I get a lot of Facebook messages for that kind of thing, like how much does a boudoir session cost? I have the same spiel that I write to every single person. I'd love to chat with you about a session. As for cost, every single one of our sessions is completely customized to each of our clients. So the cost can vary greatly depending on what you're looking for. It's way easier for us to go through everything over the phone. So we'll go through the process, what to expect, full pricing and payment plan options, and answer any questions you have. So if you go to our website, www.efpstudios.com/contact, then you can choose the date and time that works best for you to chat. So we actually have a phone consult scheduler embedded directly into the website. We send them straight there so that they can book their consult. And as soon as they book the consult, they get an automatic email that has the full info guide in there. So they're getting pricing before we talk to them. Whether or not they actually look at it is a different story. But it just helps them narrow down questions. And if they look at it and they're like, this is way out of my budget, then I don't have to talk to them.
That's cool.
And if they're like, okay, I can maybe make this work, then I go through, I still do the full pricing psychology talk, because when I'm doing that, I am upselling them during their consult, which they don't realize, obviously. But
Right.
So I'm upselling them during their consult so that when I'm upselling them in person for real at their sales appointment, it's not so hard.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, guys, I think this has been super informative. No. Yeah. Well, lots of information given. All right. thank you so much for joining us today, guys. If you want to pick Erica's brain, she also offers some mentoring in this area. You can feel free to reach out to her. If we didn't get to your questions, Eric, if you have time, over the next few days, if you wouldn't mind jumping in and just answering some of the questions that people asked for you, would love that. And guys, we will be doing the website critiques tomorrow live in the group here. And then on Friday, we're going to be doing the Ask Anything sessions. Erica, again, thank you so much for joining me, and I will talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.